Hello everybody, welcome back to Real Techniques. I am so excited to show you a new product today. Now, quite often our products take a long time to finally get to you. This one has taken longer than most. It's been about 2.5 years, but we needed to make sure it was exactly right and ready for launch. This is the Miracle Powder Sponge. Now, looking at it like that, it looks like another sponge, but this is far more than just an ordinary sponge, and I can't wait to show you how to use it. If you love our Miracle Complexion Sponge, you are going to be blown away by the Miracle Powder Sponge. Firstly, I'm going to start with my Miracle Complexion Sponge and pop a little bit of foundation on. I've already dampened mine up so that I can get a nice coverage from the product. I'm sure you all know how to use this. It can be used wet or dry. And it just gives a really beautiful, even coverage from your foundation. I forget how much I love this sponge until I start using it again. Just pushing over what's left to give me a tiny bit more coverage where I want it. Next, I'm going to go in my Miracle Powder Sponge. So this sponge is made with exactly the same microfiber technology as the Miracle Complexion Sponge, but over the top it is flocked with this beautiful velvet finish, so it picks up powder, it grabs onto the powder, picks it up and lays it down with a really, really light finish. But the main thing about this sponge that blows my mind is that we've managed to make it so it can be used damp or dry, and it works so beautifully damp as well. Now I'm going to start off by using it damp, and I'm going to put it into my powder. Now my initial reaction was, I don't understand how you can put something that's damp into a powder without getting a film over it. But because of the flocking that's on the top, it stops the powder from receiving any of the wetness. It kind of lays a little film over the top that doesn't go on here. So the velvety texture is grabbing the powder but not allowing any of the dampness to go into the powder. It's so phenomenal, and I'm literally buzzing by it, that it actually gives you this most amazing finish when used damp that you don't normally get from a powder. So it's not making any damp onto the powder, but when you push it onto the skin, it's almost baking that onto your skin, so you get this amazingly fuller coverage from a powder than you'd normally get without getting the residue on your powder. It's just mind-blowing. So you can also use it dry with a powder foundation, and it will still give you a beautiful coverage. This is actually a powder foundation. The other side I only used a powder, but it gave it that little bit more coverage. So you can use it dry or damp, depending on your preference. I think it's slightly dewier when you use it damp because you allow a little bit of the dampness to push through onto the skin, and it just creates a slightly dewier finish. So we've got the flat side for baking, so you can really push it onto the skin so it bakes that powder into the skin. You've got the rounded side for really blending it, and the pointed side for getting into any areas that you can't quite reach with the other sides. It can also be used with cream, so I've got my cream highlighter, and I'm just going to push that on the top of my cheekbones there. I'm going to add a little bit of powder blush on there as well, because I need a bit of colour, don't I? So welcome the new Miracle Powder Sponge. Paired with the Miracle Complexion Sponge, these two are a force to be reckoned with. It can be used wet or dry, and it applies powder like nothing else. The coverage is fantastic and insane. Again, it has a really light velvety flocking over the top, which grabs the powder and gives it the most amazing lay down. It also stops your products from getting damp by grabbing onto the powder. I want to hear you all shout, "What the flock!" at this product, because it is pretty amazing and took a really, really long time to develop it. I hope you enjoy using it, and I'll see you again soon.